Moving right along to the agenda item number 9, revision of ethics policy. Mr. City Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Council. Councilmember Grow had asked for a revision of the ethics policy in regard to prohibition of land sales to current or former members of the council and the Haltom City Economic Development Corporation and any of their associated business entities within a period of 10 years. So I'll let Councilmember Grow follow up on that.
I just thought this might be a good idea to alleviate citizens' concerns about the amount of property that we have and who can purchase it. And so I came up with 10 years because that's the amount of time that somebody that gets elected to the council can remain on the dais. So they could do 3 terms as a council member and then 2 terms as a mayor, or vice versa, or some combination of that. That's just my individual thought process. If anybody has any idea, I would love to hear it.
Thank you, Councilmember Grow. Dr. Trong.
Mayor, I think this pretty good policy, but with one exception. I think 10 years a little bit too long. I refer like 5 would be good because 10 years, that's a long time, especially for my age. If I want to buy another land, I don't think I have that chance. So if we can cut down 5 would be good. That's my comment.
Okay, but for the most part, you're in agreement that the ethics policy should be strengthened.
Yeah, because
with the time limit
yes,
of 5
yes,
years.
Mayor, well, it don't look good if we are current city council or mayor and we try to take advance, or maybe we are not take advance, but we go out there and buy some EDC land, and the public will look at us and say, hey, they know everything, information inside of them. I don't think it's look good. That's my personal comment, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Let's see here. Councilmember Fowler.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no problem with or objection to any ethics policies. One couple of things I do have, though, is we had talked about some considerations of reorganization of the Economic Development Corporation and the necessity to carry forward. That's been brought up 2 or 3 times. Has this policy been given to the other members of the Economic Development Corporation that are not on the City Council?
I don't know. That's a good question. Had this been provided to them, I think the intent was for the council to approve it, and then, obviously whoever's the citizen members on the EDC, they can accept it, or if not, then we'll have to look for new members. But, Mr. City Manager, do you want to address that?
It has not been presented to the EDC.
Okay. I
So
wouldn't
what-
suspect that they would have any problem with it, though.
Wouldn't it be a bit premature, though, to vote on an ethics policy and not even have given the members of this would affect or potentially affect? I just think out of courtesy and consideration, I think they should at least be given an opportunity to look at this before council goes and says, here's the deal, here's what we're having. If I was, of course, I serve on that, and I got the packet as both a council member and an EDC member, but, it's kind of in my opinion, it's a slap in the face, or, it's a slight to those that are on the board that, something that could affect them potentially, especially when it deals with ethics, to not even give them the opportunity to review this policy or policy revision before it takes place. That's my opinion. I don't know that it may be premature. Like I say, there's potentially, we discussed some changes in the way the Economic Development Corporations, Councilmember Grow and I have, somewhat in agreement on part of that. It may be premature in the fact that we might not even potentially have an Economic Development Commission. So, I don't know that, I just don't know that we have to take this into consideration tonight. I think we should at least get it to the board members first. There's a meeting, is there not, Thursday this week, 3 nights from now? So, y'all might consider putting it on the next agenda, or because I think we had talked about looking at some changes or potential changes in the way the kind of the whole makeup of the organization is. You know, it might not even be in place in a month. So, that's just my thought.
Okay, so Councilmember Nunn.
Thank you, Mayor. I agree. I think this is too premature to put this out right now. I think we need to, again, present it before EDC and get their opinion on it. I totally think 10 years is too long. I mean, I don't agree with it personally at all. I definitely agree with ethics. However, to me, it's just too premature. So I would want to at least put it before the EDC, and then we can come back, get their comments, come back and look at it again. Maybe change some wording, maybe change a few things.
Dr. Trong, did you want to respond, or do you have?
I think this is a very sensitive, policy, and I would like to have a joint meeting with EDC and discuss about this. And after that, we will make decisions, see what happened, because, I know we have both sides, but like Mr. Grohl want 10 years, but myself, I want 5 years, 10 years too long. Thank you. We need a joint meeting.
Thank you, sir. And Councilmember Watkins.
Yes, I agree that it's way premature. As I stated a while ago, when y'all weren't listening, at my age and my desires of what to do with the rest of my life, I don't know what I'm going to do when I grow up, but what it's not going to be is invest in some property, whether the EDC owns it or anybody else. But I think there's a whole lot. I'll start to say if I was a betting man, I am a betting man, but this is not something I'm going to bet on. But I'm going to tell you that as far as I'm concerned, there won't be any EDC particularly as it sits today, and there won't be any property to deal with after, say, 2 years. I think 2 or 3 years would be a long time for us to. The things we've got in place and the people we've got looking at our property and the things that we're trying to decide to do with our property would not work under those circumstances. So I believe it needs to be tabled at the least, and I don't know that I don't disagree with having a joint meeting with the EDC, but I think this is throwing out the baby with the bathwater. I don't see it. This should have been set up maybe 5 years ago. This should have been set up a long time ago if it was going to be set up, but I just don't believe you can go out there and with the things we have in the works, and one of the things that comes to my mind that I'm not necessarily for is the fire and police municipal buildings up on the property the EDC owns across from the library. You get into a whole different ballgame when you start putting things under the auspices of the city, where all of a sudden you got to put everything out for bid, and never mind the fact that you probably lose money on doing that. The other end of it is it spreads it out, and I'd like to at least live long enough to see them do a few shovels full of dirt someplace, and besides on me.
So the way that it's worded,
Table.
The revision of the ethics policy, the way it's worded on our agenda, consideration and/or action to approve the ordinance number amending the ethics policy in regard to prohibition of land sales to current or former members of the City Council and the Haltom City Economic Development Corporation and any of their associated business entities within a period of 10 years. So that's what the question is tonight. Are you in favor of or against? And we'll take a vote here in a moment. The revision of this ethics policy. So, are there any other questions or comments regarding this? Councilmember Brown.
Yes, it says, recommendation, staff recommends discussion, consideration, and/or action by city council, and I'm for further discussion.
Okay, that's fine. We're going to have a vote here in just a moment. Councilmember Grove.
Mr. Mayor, if it sounds like a a bunch of councilmen, I'm not gonna say majority because I can't read all your minds, but I'm all for, if we need to table this thing until the next council meeting, until the EDC meets next Thursday, and if they want to put this on, and now the question is, can they put this on their agenda?
That's the only thing I wanted to say, as you guys consider this, that agenda's been posted.
Okay, so that-
That'd have to be the next one. But if you're talking about a joint meeting or something like that, then you couldn't do it Thursday anyway.
Okay, so until the EDC can legally see it, and then I would say I'm fine with it.
Certainly, we'll have a joint meeting with them. Who was next? Councilmember Fowler or Brown? I can't tell. Well, Councilmember Brown, did you have another question or, no? Okay, Councilmember Fowler.
Yeah, I think we can get to, I think we can make some headway in this. If we were potentially able, and typically this is a slower time of the season or the year for us, when can we set up a meeting joint meeting between the EDC and the council? What's the schedule? That way we can get to the bottom of a bunch of this and get it figured out, because
Do you mind coming up here, Rex?
It's the third Thursday of every month. That's the normal meeting.
unless needed.
But you can call a special meeting anytime.
And I guess that's my question then. I think this would fall under the special meeting, because I don't know that there's anything else that would need to be discussed other than, what and where direction we're gonna go with the Economic Development Corporation and, the legalities of it and the either, to continue forward, the move forward or the abolishment. I think that's enough on an agenda to,
I would think so.
so when can we have a meeting, Mr. Mayor, that's suitable for?
Well, as soon, TML's next municipal league's next week. I won't be going, but I think several of our council members are, so as soon as we can schedule it after, the week after, I would suspect, or as soon as everybody's
I would like to have a date set tonight, just so that we can, put this stuff to
tentatively,
bed.
okay? Absolutely, So, how about anywhere from, what is the week of October 11th through the 12th? 11th, 12th, 10th, 11th, or 12th? That's a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday of October. 10, 11, or 12.
Should we, would it make sense to take those 3 dates and then allow Mr. Camacho or Mr. Phelps tomorrow or Thursday at the meeting to see when the other members of because I feel like everybody needs to be there. We need to
I
make a
agree.
decision one way or another.
And I was just trying to
I agree with those 3 dates. I'm saying would have those 3 options, see which one works between the council and the economic development members that are citizen members, and then make a decision, because that would give us enough time to post.
Art and I will work with both groups to come up with a date between the
So it would
council
be either
and
what'd you say, the
10th,
10th, 11th, or
or
12th? That's Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday?
of October. It's the second week of October.
I'm
And then
okay
that
with
way,
it.
P&Z's on second Tuesday, so. Yeah, but nobody's on the second Thursday. Second.
we can talk with them.
Well, we can talk with the EDC
Ken,
members and.
We'll have a date.
and then could we also ask staff, could y'all, or I guess Mr. Mayor or staff or myself, whoever needs to ask that legal counsel update yourself on everything we need to do about potential abolishment or, some of the questions that we had asked?
I'll be glad to discuss that with EDC and council at that joint meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
Everybody good on that? All right. So what we need now is a motion, if that's what you're wanting to do, to table this agenda item number 9, if that's what y'all are wanting to do. Councilmember Grove.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion to
Okay.
table this until whenever date is determined for the joint EDC city council meeting, and the meeting following that one.
It will be the second council meeting in
Correct.
October.
Would you mind saying the ordinance number on this?
Oh, the ordinance number, sure. Well, number 9. Mr. Mayor, make a motion that we table this to the meeting after the joint EDC City Council meeting regarding ordinance number Oscar-2017-026-0one.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion for tabling. Councilmember Watkins.
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Watkins. Councilmember Nunn, was that for a second?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If everybody would, please signify your votes. Motion passes unanimous. Thank you, council.